All right, my friends. So one person from your class asked about problem 5 here from the review packet. It says find the component form of the vector v satisfying the given conditions. The initial point is at -12,5 and the terminal point is at 5, -8. So really doing this has to do, there's so many ways to do it. There's a little formula you could do, but I'd rather have you really understand what's happening. So component form is where your vector has been shifted to basically to where its initial point. So I'll say to initiate at the origin. So I'm going to draw you a picture of really what could go on in your mind's eye, essentially. So you have an initial point at -12,5. So here's -12, here's 5, so about there. And then your terminal point is at 5, -8. Okay, so you've got this vector, it starts here and then goes over here. So you're basically going to preserve the direction and the length of the vector, and you're just going to shift it so it doesn't start here at -12,5, so it starts here instead. So you need this point right here to basically, you know, be moved to the right 12 and then down 5, which means this point right here would also need to be moved to the right 12 and down 5. So I'm just going to say to the right 12 and down 5. So that it would get, so it would still have the same slope essentially and then the same length, but it needs to initiate at the origin. So, so the terminal point right here was at 5, -8. And so if you were to move that to the right 12, you wouldn't be at 5 anymore, you'd be at 17. And then if you were to go down 5, you wouldn't be at -8, you'd be at -13. And again, this is something that you could totally do in your head if you really wanted to. But the answer is that the component form would be that vector v's component form would be 17, -13. And then another way that if you look it up in the book, they'll have a little formula for it. And then the idea is you, let's see, how do they do it? They have you subtract, they do tip minus tail. So I'll just say tip minus tail. And so with that, I'll just put quotes around that, but that would basically lead you to do, so the tip was your terminal point and your tail is your initial point. If you look at the picture, that should make some sense. And so you would do 5 minus -12 for the x component, and then -8 minus 5 for the y component, and that would give you the same answer. It's accomplishing the same thing. It's just shifting by subtracting the tail values. You're doing the correct shift to get it to start at the origin instead of wherever it had originally started. All right, my friends, I hope this makes sense. I hope it's helpful. Take care, everybody.